Hello guys, so I'm going to solve this particular question. Please make sure that you watch to the end. And also remember to watch our previous videos on the Physics 102 exam and test preparations, the ones I've given before now. Now, if you've gone through those questions, then I believe that you are well prepared. But make sure that you see this video or this particular lecture to the end in order to have an understanding of this, because this particular question is going to come out. If it's not going to come out, I'm not going to solve it online. So let's look at the question and then answer it together. Now the question says, an isolated charged sphere of radius 12 centimeters. So the radius was given as 12 centimeters. Now let's say the radius is capital letter R. How many centimeter? 12 centimeter. Now in most cases we don't work with centimeter, so we have to convert this to meter by dividing by 100. Now if you divide this by 100, this is going to give us, count this backward twice, 1, 2. So this is going to give us 0.12 meter. So our arrow is 0.12 meter. Now it creates an electric field. The electric field is E, and the value for the electric field is 5.9 times 10 to the power of 6 Newton per coulomb at a distance of 22 centimeter. Now the distance, we are going to use small letter arrow to indicate the distance, 22 centimeter, which is 22.0 centimeter. Now to convert this to meter, what do? Divide by 100. So when you divide by 100, this is going to give us 0.22 meter. Now the question says, what is the surface charge density? What is the surface charge density? Now what is the formula for surface charge density? It's usually given by this symbol. Surface charge density is the charge all over the area. But if you look at the question, we are given the charge. We are not given the charge, but we are given the what? Electric field. But there's a relationship between charge and the electric field. Where's the relationship? We said before now that our electric field is equal to our charge Q all over 4 pi, or let's say, let me make it easier. We said our electric field is KQ all over what? Arrow square, right? KQ all over arrow square. Where we say E is equal to, what is K? 1 all over 4 pi epsilon 0. Then we have arrow square times what? Q. And at the end of the day, our E is equals to Q all over 4 pi epsilon 0 arrow square. So this is our E. Now if we make Q separate of the formula, we can cross multiply from here. Now cross multiplying from here, what do you think we are going to have? We are going to have Q is equal to E times 4 pi epsilon 0 arrow square. So in place of Q, we can put this. Now the question, we have A also in the question, but we don't know the value of A. The value of A was not given, but you are given the particular shape in question, which is a sphere. Now what is the area of a sphere? Now the area of a sphere is given by 4 pi, there we have arrow square, 4 pi arrow square. That is the area of a square, 4 pi arrow square. So we are going to put in this value into this equation. Now the equation says we have our surface charge density as what? Q all over A. So in this case now, what are we going to have? Our surface charge density will be Q is what? Q is E times 4 pi epsilon 0 arrow square all over. What is our A? We said our A is 4 pi arrow square. So we have 4 pi arrow square, which is big letter arrow square. Okay, now we can say 4 pi cancel 4 pi. So what are we left with here? You agree with me that what we are left with here is our surface charge density is E times EO arrow square all over big arrow square. So let me take this to a new slide and then show us what we are going to have. It's going to give us something like this. Our our surface charge density, which is written almost like 6, but it's not 6, is, what do we have here? E times EO arrow square. So we have E times EO arrow square divided by big arrow square. EO arrow square divided by big arrow square. So that at the end of the day, surface charge density, the surface charge density would be equal to, what is your E? Your E is your electric charge, electric field is given in the question. So let's bring out our parameters now. E is what? 5.9 times 10 to the power of 6 Newton per coulomb. Okay, 6 Newton per coulomb. Now, what is our EO? Our EO is a constant, which we say is the permittivity of free space. Is that not so? So if EO is the permittivity of free space, what is the value for permittivity of free space? Now, we said the value for permittivity of free space is 8.85 times 10 raised to the power of what? Times 10 raised to the power of minus 12 coulomb square all over Newton meter square. This is a formula or the value for permittivity of free space. Now, you are given the arrow, two arrow. Now, one of the arrow is the radius of the sphere, and the other one is the distance from the center. Now, when you are talking about the sphere, which of the arrow talks about the area of the sphere? Is the one, the bigger arrow. So this one is the one from the center, which is the small arrow, which we said is, it has a value of 0.22 meter. And our big arrow has a value of 0.1212 meter. Okay, so look at the questions very well. Why did I use 0.112 for big arrow? Because big arrow is what actually talks about the what? The area of the sphere, and the radius of the sphere is what is given as 12 centimeter. So you should be able to distinguish between these two arrows so that you will not make mistakes while you are solving this particular question. Okay, now putting in our values into what we have here, our surface charge density is equals to E is what? 5.9 times 10 to the power of 6 Newton per coulomb times EO is what? 8.85 times 10 to the power of minus 12 times arrow square. Small letter arrow is what? 0.22 square. 0.22 square. Okay, all over big letter arrow is what? 0.12 square. Now, when you punch everything here in your calculator, what is it going to give to us? Now, when you point everything here in your calculator, it's going to give us 4.9, okay, times 10. Okay, let me just make it, let me just do it one hand. This is going to give us 4.9, okay, times 10 to the power of 6 times 8.85 times 10 to the power of minus 12, then times 0.22 squared. Now come down, everything divided by 0.12 squared, and that will give us the final answer is 1.755 times 10 raised to the power of minus 4. So we have 1.755 times 10 raised to the power of minus 4. And that is the solution to that question. Now the unit is, of course, we say the formula is charge over area, right? So the unit will be coulomb per meter square. And this is the solution to that particular question. Thank you. So I wish you success in your test tomorrow, your examination, and every other thing that you are going to write. It shall be all successful for every one of you. Nobody will fail. So that will be that for now. Thank you for your time.